When a boy falls down, before he can even process the pain to understand what just happened, he hears, "Stop crying, be a man." And years later, his first heartbreak comes and he just wants to talk about it, share with someone to share his feelings, and he wants to ask for help. Or something inside him whispers, "Be a man." He loses his job. He fails in business. His mental health begins to crumble. And still, be a man. And somewhere along the journey, he just starts wondering. And nobody ever explains to him what it actually means to be a man. So he spends his entire life to become a man without ever being taught how to become a man. Today, we're having a conversation many people need, but only a few are willing to have. What masculinity is all about, and what if everything we've been taught are all a lie? So, let's get right into it. In celebration of International Father's Day, I am dedicating this episode to all the amazing fathers out there. And yes, if you're a father, you're a man, or you're a prospective father who is going to become someone who others look up to tomorrow, or you're just a boy trying to find your fit, I think this episode is for you. You know what's interesting? Most boys spend half of their life learning what not to be. Don't be weak. Don't be soft. Don't be emotional. Don't be needy. Don't ask for help. It's a whole lot that the society expects of men, but only a few are taught what they should actually become. Hey lovelies, welcome back to another amazing episode of the Flouripedia podcast, a podcast place where we share real talk, real insight, practical tools to help you grow, glow, and get things done while improving one life at a time. I am your amazing host, Florabella, and on today we're going to change the perspective. The view that a lot of people have about masculinity. Growing up, I thought masculinity was easy to identify. Be the loudest man in the room. Be the toughest man in the room. Be the richest one in the room. The man that nobody could challenge. The man that nobody dares to speak up to. But as I grew older, I realized something different. Many people look strong on the outside, but deep down, if you check well, they are silently falling apart on the inside. And it made me realize this particular question that has been plaguing my mind. What if masculinity is not about appearing powerful? What if it is just about being responsible? Let's get right into what I learned as a young lady who experienced what true masculinity should look like in a male figure in my adulthood. And I will tell you for a good, pure experience. Masculinity is not aggressive. People confuse masculinity with dominance, the ability to intimidate, the ability to control, overpower. And if you think about it clearly, the lion doesn't really need to remind everyone it's a lion, and that's just the truth. In fact, he finds it very demeaning to prove his power to the dogs or try to show himself. True strength rarely announces itself. A man who needs to constantly prove his worth is revealing his own insecurity and thinking that he can control others when he cannot really control himself. Now, another thing I've come to realize about masculinity, just by being around masculine men and real men who are providers in nature, is that masculinity is responsibility. You might say, oh, this has to do with money. No. Everyone expects men to provide financially, but what if it's not just about the financial responsibility? What if it's just the ability to provide solution? What if it's the ability to provide safety? Masculinity at its core is ownership, owning your own decision, owning your own mistakes, owning your future, owning owning the things that you say and living up to it, because that's how God has designed it from the creation of man. He bestowed this role specially for men. And real men understands that responsibility isn't glamorous most times, but it is powerful. And it is not loud. You don't need to say what you do. Okay? Third thing is masculinity is discipline. Motivation can go as far as it can carry you, but a man who is disciplined becomes truly trustworthy and consistent with his emotions. He can make changes, he can make promises, and people definitely knows that he will live up to it. Discipline is what transforms potential into character, and masculine men are disciplined in nature. Another point is that masculinity is not control. When a man feels the need to intimidate others, feels the need to make others fear him, he is not respected. A true masculine man knows when to support, knows when to, give guidance, knows when to protect, knows when he should express his energy. Masculinity, it's not control. You don't need to control people before you show that you're a masculine man. Now, the last but not the least thing I have come to notice is that most people mistake masculine men as emotionally weak people. They say don't be emotional. But do you know that a true trait of a masculine man is emotional maturity, emotional intelligence, knowing when to act, how to act. A man becomes stronger when he knows how to manage his emotion. He doesn't explode in difficult situations. He doesn't suppress it. He acknowledges it and he masters it. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's now talk about what masculinity should actually look like, especially if you are a young boy or someone who is hoping to become a man tomorrow, and you probably want to be an intentional father, or you're just a woman who is looking out for some of these criteria or characteristics in your husband, because truly you cannot outgrow the capacity of the man who leads you, which is why it is very important you find someone who meets you where you already are and is willing to grow with you. So let's get right into it. First step is, as a man, you must first lead yourself before you learn how to lead others. This has to do with your family, your business, your personal life, your relationships, and the rest. Your little habits, your emotions, your decisions determines how well you can lead other people. Self-leadership always comes first. You cannot truly know how to lead others if you do not know how to lead yourself. You cannot give what you don't have. 2, keep your words. Keep your words. Don't be that man where you say good morning and someone has to go check if it's evening. People dislike inconsistent people. People always have to check the sky before they can believe your greetings. And that is a very bad reputation to give, to keep out there. And always do what you say. Always say what you mean. Do not promise. Do not overpromise. Do not become someone people cannot trust just because you're trying to live the, life and all that. Develop inner strength. I think that's one of the things that I love the most about the men around me. Being able to be patient, being able to have wisdom, to know when to act and when to stay back, to know when to behave. That is something that requires a lot of restraint. Inner strength is sometimes invisible, but it changes everything. And it creates a kind of reliance that you would give to people, that people can always rely on you. Then the last but not the least, whether you're a father, you're a husband, you're a boyfriend, or you're a leader, ask yourself, do people feel safe around me? This brings us to number 5. Create safety. Not just physical safety and emotional safety, but also psychologically, spiritually, and financially. Safety is very important. And yes, I said financially because financial safety is very, very important. Not just for you, but for people around you. Healthy masculinity knows when to, or healthy masculine men knows when to build and give from a place of abundance. If you're having to give from a place of lack, you're going to go drain, like you're going to run down. So you really need to know how to do this in a way that will not affect you at the end of the day. Now, last but not the least, which is very important, is to define what manhood is for yourself. The world will go around to give you 10,000 definitions on what you should do. Be helpful, be resourceful, and all those things they talk about. But take a time to define for yourself, to decide for yourself what being a man should look like for you. Not the one based on trend, no, not the one based on social media and all their propagandas, but the one based from value. Let that sink in. Masculinity should be what you make it to be. Something nurturing, something warm, something genuine. It's about doing the right thing despite fearing. It's never about being fearless, no. And it's never about having power over people, but rather it's about having power over yourself, and people would definitely follow suit, because it was never about perfection. It's about growth. And at the end of the day, the strongest man in the room is not always the loudest. No, he's not always the one that wants to dominate or shout. Do you know that I am a man of the house? No, masculine men don't do that. So he is the one quietly carrying responsibility, keeping his words and protecting others, and becoming better every day without having to look for people's validation. And that is what true masculinity should look like. And as we celebrate International Father's Day today, I want to say a very big thank you to every masculine man out there. Your consistent caring and carrying the weight around you, carrying the world on your shoulder, and making sure your family is safe and provided for will not go unnoticed. Today, I especially appreciate you, and we love you. And thank you for listening to the Floripedia podcast. And I hope that today you're going to celebrate one man in your life. Maybe your husband, maybe your boyfriend, maybe your father, maybe any single person you respect that is a man in your life. And it does not have to do with age. Any age is okay? And until next time, I hope to see you on our next episode. Keep growing, keep learning, and keep becoming that person you were created to be. Always remember, try your best to improve one life at a time. Okay? See you on our next episode again. Gotcha. Bye.